was my concern, right, Honourable Speaker, because eventually what is going to come out of the BFP will be the MTF, and whichever projects and programs not seen with those will never appear anywhere, probably until some special, being orders so. And right, Honourable Speaker, when you allowed the Minister of Finance to lay the BFP and also read some statement not uploaded, I thought Parliament was being really shortchanged, because we did not debate his statement. He's making reference to inflation at 2.9% without referring to the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. Doesn't know what's happening to our people out there. So he has some paper inflation in his book. And we have not debated that. Right, Mr. Speaker, I think these two finance ministers are smart and they know what they're doing. Parliament can only be smarter than them to tell them that these documents can as well be put in the pigeonholes of members, but they are not received here as official documents until the proper procedure is followed and we do justice to the business you are laying, honourable ministers. We have never failed to handle your... Remember last finance, the other time, right, Honourable Speaker, NDP 3 was actually brought after the BFP and nobody saw it, which is why we talk about paper tigers. They have paper tigers in those documents that have never been really implemented. Probably today we can roll back that, right, Honourable Speaker. And I'm happy you are telling them their faces that they never informed Parliament as to what they are trying to do. Informing Parliament does not mean putting up a poster at Parliament. It does not even imply putting messages in members, WhatsApp groups. So, Honourable Speaker, probably this is your day to ask the ministers to retreat. The House is here. We shall handle their business and do justice to this very delicate process. NDP 3 was mishandled. NDP 4 is coming. Like the Honourable Jonathan has observed, the budget over 5 years is a national mirror. If you are seeing your entire over your head, I want to see my nose alone in that mirror. I want to see my ear in that mirror. So what will happen over 5 years when other citizens are alienated and they believe a budget is a preserve of some very smart people that can understand the BFP and attendant MTFs? Thank you.
Yeah, honourable colleagues, we've Honourable Katesh. Honourable Katesh.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I think as members of Parliament, we must be seen and we have a responsibility to add value to the processes that we are talking about, the process of planning, budgeting. The Minister has indicated that he did consultations, in whatever form it was. I think it would be good for us to know from the Minister whether the views and the ideas that the members gave you during the consultations have been incorporated in the table in the document you are tabling. Number two, Right Honourable Speaker, we are talking of NDP 4. We have not had a statement about the performance of NDP 3. We know that NDP 3, NDP 2, all of them did not achieve the performance that was set, the target that was set. So it would be very good for us to know how are we sure that we are actually going to do better with NDP 4 than NDP 3. We need a statement from the Minister so that as we go out there to talk to our people about this new plan that we have, it is realistic and the people know that we are actually serious about its implementation. I beg to submit.
Now, honourable colleagues, I don't want this to be a much longer. Please. This is the laying of papers. Okay? Please. We have been on this since morning. I can tell you, listen to me, the Minister wanted this NDP to be approved today. I can tell you. And we refused. Okay? That's why, that's why we have said 2 weeks. And why am I saying that? There are statutory deadlines on the BFP. So whether we express our anger here, we rotate, we do what, we have timelines to meet, okay? Now, honorable colleagues, my guidance and ruling is very clear that it goes to 2 weeks for NDP 4. We scrutinize it deeply, and then we come back, we go to the budget framework paper, which we shall be able to know, but now, because now we will have either approved or not approved the NDP, okay? And then any anomaly we find in the budget framework paper, we make recommendations, which they go back when they are making the MTF, they sort out. It's very, very simple, because the budget framework paper is not a final document to say you have now approved this, this is what they are going to implement. We give our views, they capture our proposals, and they go and they make a budget. So it shouldn't be really a very, very difficult issue on this. The committee, because this should be a policy issue, so we would have sent it to finance. But in finance, chairpersons of sector committees don't sit there, and we don't have time to come and include all these views that would want to capture the way honorable colleagues were raising. So let it go to budget. It can work with finance, with the committee on finance. Let it work with the committee on finance, and we ensure that we capture all these issues. Honorable Namuga.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I do appreciate that we have deadlines, but we are handling a very serious matter. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance has on several occasions taken this Parliament for granted. We are talking about the National Development Plan. Honorable Kateshi was asking about the performance of NDP3. It was at 17%. 17%, when the NRM manifesto's performance was at 57%. So I wanted to question, where did you get those projects that were handled in your manifesto when the NDP3 was at 17%? Right Honorable Speaker, when we are talking about some of these documents, we are tired. We are tired of seeing the Ministry of Finance just bringing statements here for the sake of submitting documents. On several occasions, we've asked serious questions about, number one, the performance. These documents feed into the budget. You bring them late because you want to beat deadlines, and normally, when we look at the performance of the budget, it is very low. Right Honorable Speaker, the reason as to why MPs are suffering, it is because of some of these processes that are taken for granted. From today onwards, Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance should stop with immediate effect from taking Parliament for granted. We have suffered out there because of the recklessness of the Ministry of Finance. Recklessness of the Ministry of Finance, I state. You should stop taking us for granted, the Honorable Prime Minister, and I'm setting it as a former minister shadow, and the public, yes, Chairperson, yes, Honorable Speaker, they should stop taking this country for granted. Right Honorable Speaker, from the side of accountability, we've brought up these issues. The performance of the budget is very poor because we don't spend time on planning. That is why we are suffering. So they should stop taking us for granted.
Honorable Namuga, what should we do to these two documents? You see, I want solutions. What do we do to these two documents? We send them to the committees for processing. Yes, that's it. Honorable Mwijuche, it's almost the same.
Mr. Speaker, before I can say what we should do, last year we were talking about the corrigenda came late. And they were saying, you see, we have no time and we have deadlines. So we wanted to let you know this should be the last time you come to this Parliament and then tell us, you see, we have no time and we have deadlines. If you can't plan, just get out of those ministries. Two, like my colleague has suggested, we are all interested. We are all interested, we want to look at those documents. All sector committees should be given an opportunity to look at the documents. Otherwise we will have a we will have a problem processing what we will not have read. The chairpersons of committees will respect them, but they don't reason for us in those committees, in the budget committee. So we are all interested.
But because it will come here for approval. You will debate here. And
then you'll be telling us we have no time.
No,
telling us 1 minute.
Please.
We want to be part of the processes.
You know, honorable colleagues, You know, what interests me is very simple. I'll give you time to debate here. You will start talking of bridges in your constituencies only. This is a national development plan. In our debate, we must have a national outlook, not just a local outlook. Okay? So please, when you say I give you 1 minute, it depends on how you present. When you bring LC1 issues, I'll give you 1 minute because they should be handled in 1 minute. Next item.
Laying of papers, supplementary schedule 1 for financial year 2024-2025.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, pursuant to Article 156(2) of the Constitution and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act and Rule 53 of our Rules of Procedure, I beg to lay on table the supplementary schedule number 1 for financial year 2024-2025 amounting to Uganda shillings 1.051 trillion. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The supplementary schedule is referred to the Committee on Budget for consideration and report back to the House in accordance with Rule 173 of our Rules of Procedure. Yes, honourable colleagues, earlier on in my communication, there is the communication I had wanted to include, but I was waiting for the letter to be brought to my desk to inform you that His Excellency the President has assented to the following laws, the following acts. 1, the National Commission for UNESCO Amendment Act 2024. The Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Act 2024, the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Act 2024, the Uganda National Roads Authority Repeal Act 2024, the Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Act 2024, the National Information Technology Authority Uganda Amendment Act 2024, the Dairy Industry Amendment Act 2024, the National Agriculture Advisory Services Amendment Act 2024, and the Cotton Development Amendment Act 2024. I read the letter from the President, so I can only read what has been. Yes, and the next page is blank. So. Yes, thank you. Next.
Item number 5 on the order paper. Motion for resolution of Parliament authorize the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to allocate budgets for the financial year 2024/2025 and revise work plans for institutions affected under the Rationalization of Government Agencies and Public Expenditures RAPEX reform.
Honourable Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, in accordance with Section 20 of the Public Finance Management Act and Rule 56 of our Rules of Procedure, I beg to move a motion for the House to consider the reallocation in the budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025 and the revised work plans for institutions affected by the rationalization of government agencies and public expenditure reforms. I beg to move.
Thank you. Is the motion seconded? But I think this will refer it to the committee on budget. Okay? Correct. Let's refer it to the committee on budget.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah.
I think we have an issue here. This motion we are sending is about the powers of Parliament, because Parliament solely is the one entrusted with powers to reallocate funds. But at the same time, I've listened very carefully. They have just laid a supplementary schedule of 1.1. Now, the critical examination is the supplementary schedule could be on 3%. And it has been brought here when money has been spent as a post-mortem approval. Now, but the reallocation of money cannot take place until Parliament has approved the reallocation. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, a critical analysis, because this has been, government has been doing this with impunity, is for us to clearly read the two together. One, to examine whether there are no monies that have been spent out of budget cuts on 3%, which is the 1 trillion they have read, because that is illegal. Now, and that's why for me, Right Honorable Speaker, you are referring these two reports, this motion for process and the one for supplementary. We need to get one report out of the two. Because the report on the motion on reallocation must speak to what is contained in supplementary schedule. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, budget distortion...
But Honorable Chivumbi,
yes.
Let us leave the committee to do
No, Right Honorable Speaker, my simple procedure is that we tie the two. You know what Parliament will discover? We tie the two, the committee, when they are bringing the report. Those two reports must be brought together.
Honorable Chivumbi, that's an administrative matter. Okay? Let the committee go. I don't want to start now interfering with the liberty of the committee and their wisdom. We have very clever people on that committee, and I know you're always interested. So go in, argue that way, package your information that way, and come to the presiding officers and you say, this is how we want to present. Okay? But we don't make it a resolution here, and then the committee goes and say, but why did you change the practice, the way we've been doing things? Okay, so let us leave them with some latitude. Honorable colleagues, this is raying. They've put, honorable colleagues, these are very clear matters. Please handle them in the budget committee. Procedure?
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Prime Minister for her attentiveness. The issue I want to raise relating to this matter on the procedural aspect, if I heard the minister well, he is asking Parliament to authorize him to reallocate the votes related to RAPEX. And my issue is, and I wish the Attorney General was here, when we processed the RAPEX bills, each one of those bills had a clause, either under savings or transition. And if I remember very well, we said all assets, liabilities, ETC responsibilities will be on commencement will be transferred to the mother ministry. Now my point is, when Parliament sits, I suppose we sit to handle very serious business, that the executive should not come and waste our time. My submission is, we already authorized by an act of parliament. We already gave the executive the liberty to transfer, to move by that amendment. So this is a moot exercise.
Thank you.
For you to come and then ask us again that we should give you a resolution. Under Rules 25, the Speaker is supposed to entertain government business on the assumption that government is serious. But if you are not serious, no, and I have evidence to back this. There's a tendency now, Mr. Speaker, that the executive and government...
Maybe Honorable Do, it's important to listen to the minister and why they insisted to come here. Right, a deed of government business.
Right, Honorable Speaker and the honorable members, everybody is aware that this NRM government has been many times overwhelmingly supported by Ugandans. And the honorable member here, you know, I respect him a lot, and we are very close friends. But I felt it's a big insult. But Honorable Speaker, this government has supported the people of Uganda. Even now as I speak, the president is in Bugisu and everybody is appreciative. To me, this is a very serious government. Is it in order for you, Odu, to say the NRM government is unserious? Are you in order?
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honourable Prime Minister. To me, I understood Honourable Do to say that the business you are bringing here is the one which is not serious. But the Right Honourable Prime Minister has been bringing serious business. We have really done serious business. But you can see, Right Honourable Prime Minister, why Honourable Odur is saying that he feels this shouldn't have come here from his judgment. He feels we gave you a blank check, we gave you authority, transfer everything. So, Honourable Katesh, is it on the same?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker. I just wanted to highlight the consequences of the decision you have made. I agree with Honourable Odur. The bills catered for the transition. I thought that the minister coming here with a motion, if it was a requirement, is something that we needed to consider, because the laws have been signed, asserted to by the president. The consequences of that, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, is that the agencies ceased to operate. There are no accounting officers. So there has to be payment of staff, severance packages, and operations for the period starting when the laws changed. So by us keeping this matter pending and government not doing anything because we have not done the motion, we are actually not being fair to the people of Uganda, especially those people who have been affected. So I would like to appeal to you, Mr. Speaker, that we think about the consequences, because those accounting officers who are responsible for those agencies for which the money we appropriated have ceased to operate. And there has to be a payment or operations that must continue. Otherwise, you are creating a standoff and a standstill.
Yes, Honourable Nwagaba, then.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I just wanted to get a clarification from Honourable Katesh. You know, some of the RAPEX bills, some were either a repeal and the others an amendment. In the existing act which the President has assented to, the saving clauses and transitional clauses, do they have a connection with the budgetary framework, with the budget pursuant to the Public Finance Management Act, to the extent that you can now think of transferring funds from agencies that have been repealed using the saving and transitional clauses?
Yes, Honorable Katesh.
Of course, I strongly believe that perhaps the Minister of Finance, with all due respect, we are not handling this matter properly. You cannot come with a motion to deal with the issues of budgeting. If you had come with a supplementary to take care of everything, then I think we would all be at par. But we need clarification maybe from the Attorney General whether what my colleague is asking, whether it is catered for within the transitional clauses. But the point I'm mentioning here is that, Right Honorable Speaker, if, for example, the UNRA Act, which was merged, UNRA was abolished and taken into the Ministry of Works, from today, they do not have power as accounting officers to pay staff to do any operations. What happens between now and then? Because you have not empowered the minister to take over the resources to handle the process.
But you see, Honorable Katesh, this money you supply it under the Appropriation Act. Okay? So the clauses which Honorable Jonathan referred to, did we supply, can we say it was to the extent of even supplying? Because these votes should to do with supply. At this stage, when we refer to the Committee on Budget, it should be able to come up with proposals. We do supply to the new votes.
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Minister knows the PFMA very well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, we manage public resources in accordance with the Public Finance Management Act. That is our cardinal act law we use. Mr. Speaker, Section 20 of the Public Finance Management Act provides that Parliament may by resolution authorize the minister to reallocate funds from a vote to another vote where the functions of the vote are transferred to that other vote. Mr. Speaker, I wish to state in this House that I am blind about the transitional clauses, sections, which you provided during RAPEX. For me, my eyes only see this PFM Act, and I cannot transfer funds unless you give me authority to do so. And that is why I am here.
Thank you. Honorable Katuntu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I really don't know why we are having this debate. You cannot appropriate money by any other law. You cannot appropriate money under the Public Finance Management Act. And it is pursuant to the sections Honorable Dur is citing that the minister is doing what he's supposed to be doing. To transfer resources, the reason is that you have already done what he's saying. The transition provision under the RAPEX law cannot transfer funds. It is pursuant to those provisions that now we go to the actual transferring of the funds. I don't know where the Attorney General is, but I see somebody who sits in his office there. Oh, they share an office, I guess. The Honorable Mao. You see, all said, Right Honorable Speaker, I think the minister is in order.
Thank you.
These provisions will be hanging if he does not transfer or allocate the money. And he cannot allocate the money by resolution under the Public Finance Management Act.
Thank you. Next item.
Statement by the Minister. Statement by the Minister on hosting of the Africa Union Extraordinary Assembly on the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program.
Honourable Minister for Agriculture, and I hope the statement is applauded. Kindly display the statement if it's applauded.
Right, Honourable Speaker, we sent in the statement to the clerk. I hope it's uploaded to members' iPads. And right, Honourable Speaker, this is really for information purposes, updating Parliament on what government will be doing in January. Right, Honourable Speaker and colleagues, I make this statement to Parliament in line with Rule 52 of the Rules of Procedure to brief the House on Uganda's hosting of the forthcoming African Union Extraordinary Assembly on the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program CADAP that will be held on 9th to 11th of January 2025. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, in November 2023, Uganda, represented by the Minister of Agriculture and Minister of Fisheries, was elected to chair the African Union Specialized Technical Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Water and Environment. And one of Uganda's key deliverables during its tenure is to oversee the development of the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program Strategy and Action Plan for 2026 to 2035. The CADAP is a flagship Africa-wide program adopted in 2003 by African Union heads of state and government as the framework of action for agricultural transformation across Africa. One of the major strategies towards the realization of the African Union's Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. The CADAP is implemented through 10-year successive strategies and action plans. The first 10-year strategy was adopted in Maputo, Mozambique in 2003, and the second in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea in 2014 for the period 2015-2025. The third, 2026-2035, will be adopted during the forthcoming Extraordinary Assembly Summit of the Union of the African Union in Kampala on 9th to 11th January 2025 to be hosted at Speaker Zoto Minyonyo. The result of this assembly will be the Kampala CADAP Declaration, which will guide the continent for the next 10 years. So I felt I should brief Parliament of this. The decision to host the Extraordinary Summit, Right Honourable Speaker, was made by the 37th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, from February 17 to 18, 2024. The structure of the Extraordinary Summit will be 9th January 2025, meeting of ministers responsible for agriculture will be with relevant experts. 10th January 2025, meeting of ministers of foreign affairs with the ministers in charge of agriculture. 11th January 2025, extraordinary summit of heads of state and government. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the theme of the CADAP Strategy and Action Plan 2026-35 and the Assembly is Sustainable and Resilient Agri-Food Systems for a Healthy and Prosperous Africa. As part of the summit, the Government of Uganda and the African Union Commission will host two major side events on women and youth in agri-food systems and refugees, forced migration, and agri-food systems in Africa. These two will be held under the sub-theme, Building Resilience of Agri-Food Systems Through Commercialization. In addition to this, the African Union Commission has launched a call for proposals for side events that are related to the theme of the summit and objectives of the CADAP Strategy and Action Plan 2026-2035. The expected attendance of the summit is 49 African Union member states at heads of state and government level, plus regional economic communities, development partners, and agriculture practitioners. Overall, over 2,000 participants are expected to participate in both the summit and the side events in Kampala. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, assessment of a country implementation of the CADAP is independently done at continental level by the African Union Development Agency, AUD and NEPAD, and partners through the biannual reviews. The most recent biannual review, the fourth, was undertaken in 2023 and noted that no country was on track to achieve the Malabo targets by 2025. The continent as a whole was not on track with regard to implementing the 7 commitments of the Malabo Declaration on accelerated agricultural growth and transformation for shared prosperity and improved livelihoods. However, some member states have shown continuous progress from the first to the fourth biennial reviews. Special mention for member states that have shown continuous improvement in their scores from the first to the fourth biennial review were Comoros, Lesotho, Cabo Verde, Zimbabwe, Gambia, Nigeria, Uganda, Egypt, Morocco, Rwanda, Burundi, and Kenya. Overall, the rating of the Uganda's implementation of CADAP is given in the 2023 biennial review as progressing well, thanks to the several government policies and programs that foster resilience to climate change, inclusivity, and the integration of several CADAP initiatives in the National Development Plan. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, allow me to formally register to you our gratitude as the executive arm of government for the continued support you have rendered in implementing programs that have enabled us to achieve this rating in the implementation of CADAP. I urge you to continue rendering that support so that together we can drive the transformation of Africa's agricultural sector and stand to benefit more from that transformation as a country. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, allow me to brief you on our preparedness to host the summit. Following the decision of the February 2024 African Union General Assembly in Addis Ababa to host an extraordinary summit to consider and adopt the post-Malabo CADAP agenda, government through the Ministries of Agriculture and Foreign Affairs commenced preparatory works, including presentation of the cabinet paper on 30th September 2024, constitution of the National Organizing Committee, and invitations to the African Union heads of state and government for the summit. The technical documents, which include CADAP Strategy and Action Plan 2026-2035 and the Kampala CADAP Declaration, have already been concluded under the leadership of the African Union Commission and the strategic direction of Uganda, and were adopted by AU member states for presentation to the Assembly by the Ministerial segment of the Special Technical Committee on 25th October 2024. A recent African Union Commission assessment mission, November 11th, 15th, classified the country's state of preparedness as commendable. Benefits of hosting the summit in Kampala. As I conclude my statement, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, let me highlight that Uganda stands to reap several benefits from hosting the African Union Extraordinary Assembly of Heads of State and Government, and the benefits include, number one, it's an opportunity for the country to guide and shape continental policies and strategies in the agricultural sector and related sectors for the next 10 years. The blueprint of Africa's agricultural transformation will be referred to as the Kampala Declaration for the period up to 2035, thus enhancing the profile and international credibility of Uganda as a country. Number three, with the anticipated number of participants in the assembly, Uganda's private sector will earn considerably big. The government will also ultimately earn increased tax collection from the enhanced private sector earnings. The hosting of another big event at heads of state and government level within a year of hosting the NAM and G77 plus China summits will improve the international rating of Uganda as a conference destination, hence promoting the MICE and reaffirm the country's credibility as an icon of peace and stability in the region. This has an important positive bearing on investment attraction and tourism, besides its reputational benefits. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, the formal invitation for Parliament will be delivered in due course, and I request that you create time to attend. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I once again thank you for giving me an opportunity to brief you on this topical subject and for listening to me. I appreciate the support you have rendered to us in the past and urge you to continue doing the same. I submit and I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleague, this statement is for information purposes. I would have allowed debate, but I know you have your issues and the Prime Minister is here. You have urgent issues. We are going into a break, so I want us to use this opportunity to ensure that we also have the Prime Minister. I will amend the order paper to provide for 1, statement of business by the lead of government business, and 2, Prime Minister's time. Clerk.
Statement by the Right Honourable Prime Minister on government business pursuant to Rule 28 of the Rules of Procedure.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
It's business, serious business. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I move under Rule 28 of our rules that requires me as lead of government business to make a statement in this House regarding the government business of the succeeding week. I am therefore submitting the following government business. One, the Building Control Amendment Bill 2024. Number 2, the Valuation Bill 2024. Number 3, the Culture and the Creative Bill 2024. Number 4, the Workers' Compensation Amendment Bill 2024. And number 5, the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Amendment Bill 2024. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Right Honourable Prime Minister. Next.
Prime Minister's time.
Now, I want to make a special request to the Prime Minister that for the written questions and answers, we upload them and members can access them. So that we pick issues, because I know you had matters of national importance when you were coming to me. We pick those issues quickly and they are settled. A procedure issue, Honourable Pendi?
Yes, thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for that guidance. And I just want to request that just for the record, so that members are on the Hansard, the Prime Minister can just state that she received a question from this person. Yeah, so that it is on record.
Sure.
That these people
that's
ask
okay.
questions, yes.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, following your guidance, I received a question from Honourable Boka George Didi, Obongi County, Obongi District. And my response is here under. The other question is from Honourable Ephraim Biraro, Buhweju West, Buhweju District, and my response is here by attached. Then the third question came from Honorable Christopher Komakech, and the response is provided. Honorable Dr. Byakatonda Abdul, and Honorable Musa Noah, Dr. Koboko North. That's question number 5. And the question number 6 is from Honorable Tom Alero, West Moyo. And question number 7 is from Honorable Atima Jackson, and my response is hereby attached. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Now, Honorable Minister for Agriculture, I forgot to wish you a successful assembly, and in case you need support of Parliament, in one way or another. Sometimes you reach out to us for logistic and all that. We are always willing to help to ensure we have a very successful assembly. So we are receiving questions. I'll start with Honorable Onzima, followed by Honorable Tamaguzi, followed by Honorable Saro Pendi, followed by Honorable Seru Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's be 1 minute. We need summary so that we pick as many colleagues as possible.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I just want to bring to the attention of the Prime Minister an issue which was raised to me by a gentleman who calls himself Lubango Hamada, who is the cold chain assistant for Bundibujo. He said whereas government had given them an appointment where their gross salary was supposed to be 1.44 million, then after that the net should have been 1.09. That is U7 medical. Without their notice, this was reduced to a gross of 390 and a net which is 260. And this is after they had earned this money, the 1.9 for around 3 years. So whereas government has been increasing salaries for medical workers, theirs has been an opposite. For example, the cold chain technicians, their money was raised from 1.55 to 2.2. So they wanted to know as to why government reduced their money from 1.44 to 300, and yet many of them are servicing salaries. I mean loans.
Thank you.
So this has put a lot of problem on them. They needed explanation.
Thank you. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, I will request the Honourable Member to give me that in writing so that I can get an appropriate answer.
And action. I
And
agree
action will
with you.
definitely be taken.
I agree with you. This is a question that needs detailed answer. Honorable Tamaguzi. So Honorable Nzima, please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, there was a grand project of supplying goats throughout the country, especially in the cattle corridor, including my district of Nakaseke. But they had injected billions of money in that goats project, but it stopped abruptly. So the youth have petitioned me from different areas of the cattle corridor on what really happened to that project, because it had started very well. And you know you are under the program of empowering the youth. So we want to know what happened to the GOST project, where government had injected billions of money. Thank you.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I don't have a definite answer because it's the first time I'm hearing about the national goat projects. What I knew was that one of Karamoja under my office. But across the country, I really don't know. I would request that, I don't know whether I saw the Minister of Agriculture here. I request that you...
I don't know who is the acting chief whip today.
I request that the minister...
One member can volunteer, you call for us.
The minister be allowed in.
This project was under a gentleman. Right Honourable, this project was under one gentleman called Sembeguya that injected billions of money in it and had started in the cattle corridor areas.
Honourable Tamaguzi, let's wait for the... Oh, you can repeat the question. Honourable Tamaguzi, I'm giving you a chance to repeat the question.
Yeah, yes, Right Honourable Speaker, there was a GOATS project program under the government of Uganda where they injected billions of money that started supplying these goats, especially in the cattle corridor areas. My district of Nakaseke, Gomba, Sembabule, many youth had actually received part. but the program abruptly stopped. We want to know, because we've received several petitions from these youth, what happened to that GOTS program.
And who was heading it? You said
It was under one gentleman, Sembeguya. He's saying Paul Sembeguya. I want to know what happened to that program.
Honorable Kabanda, you have more information on it?
Yes, Honorable Kabanda seems to be having information on that program.
Honorable Minister, you know about the project?
Right Honorable Speaker, MAIF has not had that program for the last 3 years. We've not had a program for that. But however, I have scant information that some years, many years back, Echi, the president, directed Sembeguya to have a breeding goat breeding program and was given land. I can only pledge to go and find out more information and report to this house. Thank you.
These are issues because now that means me giving you space on the order paper. We have been, these are issues the sectoral committee can take up when they are working on the budget framework paper. Pick such issues, okay? Yeah, thank you. Yes, I had picked Honorable Saro Pendi.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, there is an advert that has been ongoing by the Roller Women's Foundation, and this advert is calling on people to apply for various. The advert is actually requesting people to apply for various positions.
Yeah. IT, what's happening to our microphones?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. There had been an advert. I came across it online, actually on some platform, and I interested myself because there are young people who are looking for jobs. They wanted communications officer, finance administration manager, office administrator, and others. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I interested myself in knowing about the organization before I could actually forward this to those who are looking for jobs. But, Right Honorable Speaker, I was shocked to find out that this organization is based in Mpigi, Buyala, and among their mission, it is to create a resilient, sustainable, safe space for LGBTQ, lesbians, bisexual, queer persons through entrepreneurship, advocacy, and access to essential services. Right Honorable Speaker, we passed a law in this country against LGBTQ activities. And for an organization to actually advertise, and amongst what it's supposed to do is to ensure that, you know, it employs people to promote and ensure that the lesbians, bisexual, and queer people in this country are actually protected and supported. I wonder, Right Honorable Speaker, how this can happen when this law is still fresh in our minds and we have President Trump reversing what is going on in the US. So, Right Honorable Speaker, RELA is a queer feminist umbrella organization founded in 2017 to address challenges of these LBQ. No, this one is lesbians, bisexual, and queer. There's are three. And it's actually in this country. I took a step in calling somebody at the Uganda Registration Services Bureau. And Right Honorable Speaker, the response I got is that what is registered at Uganda Registration Services is not what this organization is actually promoting and doing in this country. So what they are going to do, actually from their mission and objectives, they are actually, you know, giving employment to people. How? Through providing resources so that people can engage in entrepreneurship.
Question to the Prime Minister.
So, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Prime Minister,
whether she's aware of this Roller Women's Foundation, and if not, what government is going to do to such institutions that are actually promoting or undertaking activities that are against our own laws and morals as a country. Thank you.
Right Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, this is a very relevant question. Now that she has information that these people are promoting what is not supposed to be promoted in this country, I direct the Minister of Internal Affairs, Uganda Police, all security agencies to swing in action and make sure that this.
Thank you. Honorable Sir Kenya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
And now that URSB registered them and they are doing different things, they should go and investigate, and if found guilty, let them be deregistered.
And your Minister for Ethics is seated there also.
She's also directed.
Yes, Honorable Sir Kenya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, over 200 families in Savagabo are concerned with the merger of UNRA because they have contract with UNRA, and the concerns are here. One, they were valued 2 years back and never received the report, and the value of their land has changed. So are they going to be valued again? Secondly, this agreement, is it going to be honored by the Ministry of Works? Thirdly, are we retaining the contractor of Busabara Road? When is he coming back? Because the drainage is bad off and spoiling people's houses. Then, what has the government done what has the government done on the loan so that our road can be worked on? Another question is, when is the compensation? Thank you so much.
Honourable Minister, Prime Minister has said standing.
Thank you. Right,
and you can tell us about Karma Bridge also.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I appreciate the questions from the Honourable Member. We have just had a one-to-one discussion with him, same questions, and I'd given him my answer. But since he has brought it on the floor, I will again answer him. The contract signed by anybody, be it a service provider, be it any of those people who are what we call the PAPs, the project affected persons, a contract signed with the government of Uganda. So they are valid and they will be honored. The valuations will be updated. We have a chief government valuer and there are standards which we follow. If we will say they need to re-evaluate, we will re-evaluate those people who will need to be evaluated. The contract on Busabala Road has halted work because of lack of payment, which is being worked on. Prime Minister's here and Minister of Finance is here. We are aggressively working on that, and very soon all the contractors whom we owe money will be paid, and I know they will resume work. And so all those problems will be resolved. The issue of Karuma, I'm happy to inform Parliament that I promised that before Christmas, Karuma Bridge will be opened for people traveling in that direction to travel. Karuma will be open tomorrow by 6 a.m. for light vehicles and buses. As we finalize the repairs for the heavy trucks, so please bear with us. We'll start with buses
and light vehicles. Tomorrow by 6 a.m. you can travel through Karuma Bridge.
Thank you. Honorable Sokot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, over these years we conducted census, but there are many enumerators and supervisors that are still complaining until today that they have not been paid their money, including some LC1 chairpersons. Over this period when we went for a small break, I met several of them. My question is, when will they be paid? Because it seems to be an urgent matter. Thank you.
Right, Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker, I chair the Census Committee as Prime Minister of Uganda. According to me, all the money that was supposed to pay the enumerators, the guides and everybody was paid. And if there are issues, I request that you inform me in writing so that we can, if there are, maybe, those are irregularities in districts maybe. Because according to us here, we know we closed our books of accounts. Then we shall see, those culprits will go, if there are people who stole the money.
Thank you. Honorable Grania.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Court, you will follow up with the Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. To the Right Honorable Prime Minister, we have Mubende Regional Referral Hospital. We received an X-ray. We appreciate that from government. However, Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to bring to your information, to your notice, that this Regional Referral Hospital has been working without an X-ray machine since June of this year. Right Honorable Prime Minister, this X-ray machine has been down. We reported it earlier. We were told that the machine was working upon. The procurement of the part that is required is in the process. But Right Honorable Prime Minister, it is over 6 months. I wonder which kind of procurement is taking over 6 months. This is a very deadly season where people are prone to accidents. We understand the roads.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
The festive season.
Yeah,
how soon shall we have that X-ray machine repaired? Thank you.
The Ministry of Health is directed to send their teams to go and repair the machine.
Thank you. Honorable Mujuche.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, while the Prime Minister was doing great work in eastern Uganda, the rains swept off the bridge that connects Shema and Buhweju, and as I talk now, we can't cross at Chankanda. And so I know you are doing something like you promised about that road, because the only main road to Buhweju, and it's a Maram road, and you had said and prayed that you're going to do something about it. But is there anything you can do in the meantime, so that this shadow minister of works and transport and the people of Buhweju are able to go home for Christmas? Thank you very much.
Honorable Katumba, come and stand in for your colleague.
I appreciate your challenge, my comrade, the shadow minister. Between now, I can't deceive that between now and Christmas time, we can be able to fix the bridge. But I'll send my team to investigate what needs to be done and also come up with an estimate of what we need to do, and we'll have to attend to the bridge with the right time and with the right materials.
And you can continue consulting at ministerial level. Okay. Yes, Honorable Algon.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Allow me first to appreciate the Right Honorable Prime Minister. At the time of your appointment, some people were doubting your capacity, that maybe we need a man in that position. But the way you have taken charge, I feel now so
You have
good.
30 seconds left.
So my question is, Kume municipality has been lucky to receive quality tarmac under the government of NRM. And we are celebrating you particularly. You gave a directive and it worked. I now call upon you to direct on the issue of giving us traffic lights. Because now there are several accidents happening there. Yes, there are several accidents right from, yes, between Tirinyi, Palace and Ikumi. There are several accidents, and then in the town, over 60 trucks got an accident in a similar point, at the same point. And I request you to direct so that something can do happen. Thank you.
By powers given to me, I direct that the minister, present here, members, we have an obligation as a country. Once you put on traffic lights in any corner of the country, you are done with accidents, the criminalities that happen on our roads. And so when we construct good roads, the president directed that we should really put light on these roads. So I direct you, Honorable Katumba Wamala, to go and put lights.
You know, Honorable Algon can't praise you for free. Honorable Joan Okia.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the government has plans to connect the whole country to network and to the internet. Now, on a private basis, for the last 2 years, I've been pursuing a private network, a private organization to come and install some masts in Madiokolo. And they installed in one far corner in a place called Ofaka. Now, we've been talking for 2 years, and they were supposed to install a mast in a place called Ribo. Ribo is a refugee hosting district, and the sub-county headquarters don't have internet. As they kept telling me that they're about to bring the mast, out of the blue they told me that the office of the Prime Minister has directed that that mast should not go to the sub-county headquarters, but it should go to the refugee area. Yet the biggest population of the people are at the sub-county. So, and yet the refugee area already has a mast. So the people in Ribo are in distress and wondering why refugee population is being prioritized over the Uganda population. Please.
Right Honourable Prime Minister. But they are saying the office of the Prime Minister is the one which interfered. So, Honorable Kabyanga is very innocent.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Kabyanga may not answer this. According to her, Madiokoro and that sub-county is a refugee host district, and so it is my office. I request that you allow me to investigate. I will get in touch with my sister. I've been to Madiokoro, and then we handle this matter together. I promise.
Thank you, Honorable Aran Mayanja.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I've ever raised this matter before this House, the delayed completion of Luwero Chiwoko Butalang Road, which is under Dot Services Limited as contractors, and which was contracted at 93 billion shillings. But as I speak now, the workers on the construction of that particular road are on strike because of delayed salary payment, because of poor working environment, from Adult Services Limited. Madam Prime Minister, when are you completing this road? And secondly, the workers are on strike. When are they being paid? They are meager payments and meager salaries, so that this road can be completed in time, because it is causing tension, causing commotion.
Honourable Minister for Works.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, on every project we do, we have what we call the grievance committee, and so composed of the local authorities and part of the contractors and the social workers. I would request the honourable member to look out for the grievance committee, and you deal with the grievance committee, because they will answer on the ground the questions there on the ground. And that's the best way to deal with it, because they know what, once they get the grievances, they can move even to person to answer those grievances.
Yeah, but
as to the completion of
the Minister, just on that part of grievances, when a member brings an issue here,
yes,
now you should raise it with your grievances committee.
I'll do that.
And you link them with the member.
Much obliged, Speaker. About the completion of the roads, Right Honourable Speaker, I would want the honourable members to be appreciative. When we are constructing a road, we also have to take time to ensure that we do a good job. You can't put the base, the sub-base, and straight away you put the tarmac. Otherwise, you will not have a good product. When they put those layers, they allow them to settle. And they even make checks every time to see whether that level has stabilized before you put on another layer. And that's what it takes time. This road was done, I think the Right Honourable Prime Minister was there about a year ago. And so it is not going so slow, but we have to be sure. First of all, we had, you know the issue which we had with the compensations, where some of your people didn't want even to take the money. Until later on, we had to engage, and they agreed to take the money. All that delays the works. But this project is scheduled to be completed within 3 years from the time of commencement.
Honourable Hunda, then Honourable Teira.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. The people of Toro, they have asked me to ask you, Madam Prime Minister. It has been for a long time when the President pledged Buhinga Stadium, the construction of Buhinga Stadium. And Buhinga Stadium has been moving along with Achibua Stadium. And now the people of Toro, they have seen Achibua Stadium, Honorable Gwanga happily signing a contract for the people of Lango. Now the people of Toro are asking, Madam Prime Minister, how can you forget us who give this government 98% of the vote? And they are wondering if the President comes to our region, how he will face us, Madam Prime Minister.
Right, Honourable, you need the Minister for Sports to help you. Honourable Peter. First of all, I want to begin by thanking the Right Honourable Prime Minister and all of us honourable colleagues. I want to thank Honourable Ruhunda Alex for raising this very pertinent issue regarding the stadium. I want to reiterate the commitment of HDA President to the people of Toro that the NRM government is committed to fulfilling the pledge of constructing Buhinga Stadium. As of now, it is true government has committed money, 1, to construct Hoima City Stadium, 2, to construct Akibwa Stadium, 3, as a ministry, and if funds are available, Right Honourable Prime Minister, it's within our plan as the Minister of Education and Sports to construct the stadium. So ours is
to work within the available resources to construct Buhinga City Stadium. So mine is to reiterate the commitment of government and of HD President that we will continue to fulfill these pledges. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Taylor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I thank you for the good work you're doing. Right Honorable Speaker, we are entering into a budget cycle. There are some light pledges which the President has made to various communities. Bugabla North constituency, for example, we have some schools for renovation, which he committed. Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Prime Minister, may we be deliberate and incorporate these pledges into the budgeting cycle now that we are nearing 2026, so that some of them which are light can be captured in this year's coming budget so that we fulfill them. Bugabla North, for example, the 2 schools which the President pledged to rehabilitate, where you have visited even both of them. Thank you.
Honourable Minister for Education.
Well, first of all, I want to thank my colleague, and I thank you for raising the matter before the Prime Minister. But like you correctly said, how I wish we could have the names of the schools so that we look at within the ministry. It's like you've correctly said, looking at the next year's financial budget, some of this would be picked in and incorporated within the budget. Right Honourable Speaker and Right Honourable Prime Minister, I want to inform the country on the issue of Akibwa Stadium. As per the contract signed, I will be handing over the site officially on Tuesday in Lira City. I call upon all members of Parliament, all resident district commissioners, LOC5 chairperson, and other persons to join me to hand over the project to the contractor for the construction of Akibwa Olympic Stadium. I thank you so much on behalf of the Senior Minister.
Honorable Kamara. Followed by Honorable Bigaros.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have in my constituency a bridge called the Kanyamateke Bridge. This Kanyamateke Bridge was contracted, the contractor is Jesse's company. They started on the bridge, halfway done, they left the bridge there. People don't have where to pass, and it is now close to 1 year when people cannot move from that area to Kisoro town to access services like hospitals, and I have got there a health center 3, Korodi was health center 3. Mr. Speaker, during the construction...
Now, Honorable Kamara, how we do questions here, eh? No, yes. That's enough. So ask a question.
The question is that now the water had to back a flow and spoiled people's crops. People's crops on about 300 acres, and my people cannot get even food to eat, cannot get where to pass to access the town Kisoro. The hospital, the health center that is there can no longer refer the patients to Kisoro. Mr. Speaker, my question is, Right Honorable Prime Minister, leader of government business, how are you going to rescue my people? One, they don't have what to eat, and they don't have where to pass, and was health center 3 is also incomplete because we only made foundation and it is not on.
Thank you. Now, Honorable colleagues, when you see an issue bringing Kamara to Kampala, when you see Honorable Kamara coming to Kampala, it's very serious. So, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, Kanyamateke Bridge will be answered by Honorable Katumba. Let me talk about food. I request that the district disaster committee writes to the office of the Prime Minister. We shall provide food. Talk about Kanyamateke Bridge.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Kamara, I request that we share the contact of that contractor so that I follow it up and I'll give you feedback.
Honourable Minister, I request you do it today before Kamara goes back.
Today, because I know you, when he crosses Katonga, coming back will take another year.
Yes. Honourable Aisha.
Thank you so much. Right,
Honourable Kamara, don't go before sharing the contact. I know the bus is leaving you, but don't go.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, a few months back, the Ministry of Gender launched the GROW project from giving out money to women, which is supposed to last a couple of years, I think 3 years. But hardly 6 months into the project, less than that, the money got finished. So many women have applied to the banks, the money is not there, and yet the project is supposed to last years. What has happened to this GROW project, Right Honourable Prime Minister?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, I know she's aware that sometimes we plan these projects, and once we plan this, now this GROW project is in 3 phases. Phase 1, the money may have got finished. Those people will be considered in the second phase, because we got overwhelmed by the demand of people who wanted the money. And I would suggest that the minister keeps us updated regularly as Parliament, because every time I'm here, the question of GROW comes up. We need regular. I request that you allow the minister to update the House regularly.
Right now, we don't have any pending statement from her. Whenever they request, we do. But that project is doing very well, Right Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Bigaros, then Honourable Kabanda.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the people of West Nile requested for a cement center in Abin, Nagrik. But up to now, Ministry of Agriculture has not established this cement center so that we can improve the quality of our cows. May I know from the Prime Minister when this can be effected? Thank you.
Honourable Minister of Agriculture, we need cement in that area. So the cement for the animals.
For sure. For sure. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Our agency for breeding Nagrik and DB has stations in the country, and we have a nitrogen center here in Entebbe. Establishing a cement center is something that requires investment. I'll get details from the Member of Parliament on what is required. However, we can give semen to the farmers of his area, and we've been training sub-county inseminators. So we will liaise and see how to help them. But artificial insemination is a detail that we cannot encourage it massively to farmers before we are sure that in each area the inseminators have been trained and the farmers have been trained. So we allow bulls to serve the animals because they are not in short supply. It's mainly the zero grazing farmers that require more of artificial insemination. I will liaise with my sister and we see how to serve that community. I thank you.
So, Honourable Kabanda, and Honourable Kirea, then Honourable Angura.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the information I wanted to give about the GROW money to the Right Honorable Prime Minister is not that this money is finished from the bank, but the bank people make it very hard for our people to get this money. Even when you reach there, getting a form becomes very difficult. They just convince you to apply for their loan. This money is there, but even getting a loan becomes very hard. The other day I saw Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, if you could just give him a chance, launching a same loan for the large commercial farmers and I think the money is going to be channeled through Housing Finance Bank. I hope it doesn't become the same like what is happening to the grow money. The government comes up with very good ideas, but the people in the banks, they end up harassing our people, convincing them to go and apply for their loans, yet the money is there. So I wanted you to interest yourself in this so that you follow up what happens exactly in the banks. Also, Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, because this project of yours is very good. It is going to help our large farmers, scale farmers. It is very good, but you need to interest yourself in these banks. Are they going really to give our people the money, or they are going to harass them to end up applying for their own loans?
Thank you, Honorable Claire.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. My issue was also about GROW project. Right Honorable Prime Minister, we thank government for that project because it's supposed to help us and uplift the status of women, the women in business. But that money, even before it came to the banks, women are complaining the money is not there. Banks are instead encouraging them to get money, but at the rates of at the commercial bank rates. So, Right Honorable Prime Minister, we'd like you to interest yourself in this thing and support the women, and we make sure that these women receive this money. Because even from the beginning, right from the beginning, it was very difficult for women in Isinjo to even qualify for that money. When they changed the terms and conditions, they still became very difficult. When they go to the bank, they make the process so hard, and women have failed to benefit from that. Next one, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Honorable, we'll do one question on this.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
I have got information from colleagues. I promise that we shall investigate and make sure that if the banks are doing this, then we shall have no alternative but to give government banks these chances to handle such monies. Yes.
Thank you. Honorable Bangura.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, the President was in Bukedi recently, and in that tour, we reported to you, and through him, the PDM circles that are not receiving funds. In Bukedi, we have 32 that are not receiving these PDM funds. And for the inclusivity of everyone in the money economy, we are challenged and reminded by these circles as to when they will get the money. We are now going back home for Christmas. The assurance that was given through you is that they are going to receive this money. Are they going to have it in this next quarter?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, there was a mismatch of information by the Ministry of Local Government, and the President directed that we handle this. We have so far had 2 meetings to harmonize between the Ministry of Local Government and the Electoral Commission, so that it's not only in Bukedi. We also found that same issue in other districts like Bududa. In his place, there is one parish that does not receive money. And so we are going to handle this conclusively throughout the country, because I cannot deceive Parliament that we are going to get money tomorrow and give. because you already budgeted for the parishes that are already in existence. These ones are going to be handled next financial year.
Thank you. Let's have a maiden speech from Kisoro. Oh, she already spoke. Okay. When I'm chairing, is her maiden speech.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right
And
Honorable-
congratulations.
Thank you, Honorable. In Kisoro, we do not have a dialysis machine. People have to be referred to Mbalala Hospital, where yet it is a service that requires one to be visiting often. We are requesting that they consider giving Kisoro a dialysis machine.
That's Mutorere.
Mutorere or Kisoro Hospital,
Oh,
one
Kisoro
of the two big
Hospital.
hospitals.
Okay. Right, Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, a dialysis is a specialized treatment for only consultants, and we don't have consultants in district hospitals and these other hospitals. They are only at regional referral hospitals. And so I request colleagues to allow your people. That's why we have categories of hospitals. We have the district hospital, we have the regional hospital, and we have the national specialized hospitals. There are some treatment that cannot be done even in Imbarara, but you have to come to Mulago. So as we move, we shall be there, but we are not yet there.
Honorable Komakech.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, IDP camps came in northern Uganda, Achuri sub-region, and they left thanks to the armed officers and the commander-in-chief. The IDP camps left us with a very stubborn, stringent weed that when our farmers do agriculture, this weed does not succumb to herbicides, and it's affecting crop production. We thought the tractors that His Excellency gave us that were launched by our Honorable Minister, Honorable Mao, and the Minister himself, Honorable Frank, would help us in cultivating the wheat, but the tractors have no plow. Up to date, the tractors you gave us don't have any plow. They are just packed in. So the question is, when is Minister of Agriculture sending specialists to first name that weed and deal with it? Secondly, Right Honorable Prime Minister, when are we saving the plows for the tractors? Thank you so much.
Honourable Minister, and Honourable Minister, you can also comment on the issue raised by Honourable Kawanda about the bank, about the loan for big farmers. The loan.
I am really sorry to hear that the tractors have no plows. So I need to find out why they were not picked. So it is something I'm going to follow up. But also I'm wondering why the people who took the tractors didn't raise that to us. So, and I'm going to follow that up and I will update you. Now let me reply, colleagues. The issue, just a minute.
Honourable colleagues in Prime Minister.
Now the issue of agricultural services, I have written an extensive circular and circulated it. You have district production coordinators. They are as experts as the people I have in Entebbe. I have sub-county extension workers. The Right Honorable Prime Minister and the President of Uganda doubled their salaries. Why are they not working? I am appealing to you, colleagues, that we launch a resistance against absenteeism. So I want the district production coordinator of your district, I am going to call them to tell me if they have a problem with prescribing treatment for that weed. Why have they not informed us? So we must really not keep here to defend each other. We must hold people we pay accountable. I apologize for the tractors not having discs. I'm going to follow it up. I will give you a report.
Honourable, on the loans for big farmers.
Right Honourable, it's actually great news, and I want to thank the Minister of Finance and Cabinet. Give them a round of applause. With your permission, we could come with the Minister of Finance to give a statement. Minister of Finance, we've been discussing how to finance large-scale commercial farmers who are not covered under PDM. So they came up on the approval of cabinet with an interest-free loan facility for people dealing in food security crops, soybean, maize, cassava, I think even coffee, livestock. So who can bring a statement,
please,
explaining the details, the participating banks, and the criteria. But it's a wonderful policy framework.
Honorable Mpinde Bumari, Honorable Mapenduzi, no, under this one, no procedure. Please, let's proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
We
Right
are
Honorable
proceeding
Prime
very
Minister.
well.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, I also know you as a person who fight for the vulnerable Ugandans. But if you go to the NIRA offices, you'll find Ugandans crying every day because of the huge amount of money that is charged to them just for minor mistakes that are made on their national ID. If the name is misspelled and someone wants to collect the name, they ask for 250,000. And Ugandans don't have that money. Is there something that government can do to help those Ugandans who cannot raise that money?
Thank you. Now, Right Honorable, as you come to answer this, there is something which I saw. It was an announcement by NIRA that if you lose your ID, you pay 50,000 for replacement. Then if you damage your ID, you pay 200,000. So now, why should I go to report a damaged ID when I can lose it, and then I pay? You get it? I just throw it away, say it's lost. I pay 50,000 instead of carrying it as damaged, and I pay 200,000. Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Related to the ID.
Please, Honourable, you know how we handle microphones here.
Right, Honourable Speaker and
Please,
Honourable
never
members.
access a microphone without my permission.
The high charge is a deterrent measure. Honourable colleagues, there is time when we started with the SAGE project. People had reduced their years on the national ID. When SAGE came, they all wanted to be 80. 80 years and above. Yes, it is a deterrent measure. Every day you go to NIRA offices, you will find lines and lines. When retirement is about to come, people want to change. They want to change the age and they become maybe 45 when they're already 60. So, I've not talked about that. So, honorable members, this is trying to deter people from fraudulently changing their identity. And two, to also make people a little bit more responsible. Because this exercise has been taking place and people can get these IDs for free. But within just 1 week, the moment they know that maybe somebody, you know, especially the younger people want to change their age. And so we are saying, let it be a deterrent measure. If you want to change your name to another name, pay. If you say you want to change your age and become a little younger so you can serve longer, pay.
Right, Honourable, can we save some time for members?
Measure. It is a deterrent measure.
Thank you. Let the committee follow up on that issue. Okay, the sectoral committee. Honourable Mapenduzi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, in March, Mr. Speaker, in March 2020, government commenced the construction project for the Gulu Logistic Hub, a very strategic facility serving the entire northern Uganda, and the neighboring countries. However, Mr. Speaker, the project affected several families, and government had made a commitment to pay them in form of compensation and severance packages. Mr. Speaker, sir, some families were paid, but families who were majorly tenants of Uganda Railways Corporation were not paid. We made several attempts to have them paid. I have personally traveled to the Ministry of Works for more than 12 times. I have been counting, and we have not had any positive feedback. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, would like to ask the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, whether she can very kindly, as usual, compel the Ministry of Works to have these affected persons who have been there for almost 5 years now, struggling. Some of these families have nowhere to stay. They're in Gulu City. And you can imagine the life. Mr. Speaker, sir, my request to the Prime Minister is to prevail and have the Ministry of Works have these people paid. Thank you.
Right Honourable Prime Minister. The member is saying he went to Works 12 times. Now they've run to you.
I am going to coordinate the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Works so that money is available to the Ministry of Works to have these people paid, but after investigations.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable Remricha, Honorable Honorable Kuruo, no, Honorable Kazini, Honorable Kwizera, the two colleagues. I have MPs I started with here today's session. So, yes, Honorable Tom. No, I know them, the ones who are here. So, let us first sit. Oh, Honorable Migade. Yes, Honorable Migade. Yeah. Just let's do a quick one. If we could do a quick round, we go for the party. And Honorable colleagues, each one of you, the time you enter, I see you. Don't think you're too many that I can't remember when you entered. I keep monitoring when you enter.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, sir, for the opportunity. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to thank you so much for the work you're doing. We really appreciate so much. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, Ntoroko secured a wage bill. We are lacking, the Ntoroko district is lacking critical staff in different departments. And government had to hold the recruitment because of forensic audit. But the ban was lifted. We've been writing several letters. I've seen the ministers promising to give us permission. The district has written several letters. And lack of staff in critical departments is crippling work at the district. So, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, when are you allowing, or maybe you should intervene so that we are given, because we have our wage. We really want to pay, we want to recruit so that the work goes on at the district, because our district is being.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and the honorable members, the issue of Ntoroko is well known to me. It has been there. I know it caused some transfers and interdiction of some cows. The issue of the wage for Ntoroko, I know they have the money, but government instituted a forensic audit, and the reports are out. So I think we can now allow you to recruit. I will just ask Minister of Public Service to give you an objection.
Thank you. Koruo.
Thank you very much.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Prime Minister, the people of Toroma, whom I represent, have requested me to ask you, the people of Toroma, whom I represent, have requested me to ask you the policy on establishment of a technical school. Katakwi district has 3 counties. Ngariam has 1 technical school. Usuk has 1 technical school. Toroma has nil. But the new PS has been misguided by the planning department to establish again a new technical institute, again in Ngariam, moreover in a remote area with only 1 sub-county and with 1 school under construction. Toroma County has 6 senior secondary schools that can feed this technical school. Prime Minister, can you direct, as you have directed Kumi, this technical school to be built in Toroma, because the council, district council, they have rejected totally to use those funds to build the what? The technical school in where? In Ngariam.
Now, Honorable, you see how things work. You ask for your own. You don't say take away from this one. You also rob for your own. You ask the Prime Minister. That should be the approach. You don't. Minister for Education.
Right Honorable Speaker, maybe I need to declare my conflict for the record so that I state some facts clearly. In 2001, I don't know which class I was, but I think I was somewhere there. Actually, the President pledged a memorial technical institute in memory of the 39 people who were massacred by the cattle rustlers in Ngariam. I was not a member of Parliament. After that, when I became a member of Parliament for Usu County, Right Honorable Speaker and Right Honorable Prime Minister, again, actually the President, through Her Excellency the Vice President now, who was a Minister of Education and Sports, again pledged another technical institute in memory of the father of Her Excellency the Vice President, who was killed by landmine by the LRA. So I want first to bring these facts clearly before this August House. So for that matter, there's 1 technical institute which the Minister of Education and Sports has been having for the district of Katakwi. And that is also called Katakwi Technical Institute, which is in my constituency, because even Usu County was in my constituency. So now, what my colleague is bringing, I want to answer it squarely. It's not Ogwang who pledged. It is the President who pledged in memory of the people who were killed by the cattle rustling then in 2001. Today is 2024. 23 years. So this pledge has not been fulfilled.
So Honorable, the other 2 are memorial monuments.
They are.
Then this one is a technical.
It's a technical. So now, what I expect from my colleague is to work with me as your colleague and say how we can be able to get you a technical institute in that count of Toroma.
Thank you.
But not to take away a monument which was pledged in memory of the people who have been killed. And also it's wrong, Right Honorable Speaker, because now I declare my conflict. For my colleague to come and insinuate that there are no people in that sub-county. Whom do I represent here?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I had picked Honorable Singoma and then Honorable Kazini. Honorable Singoma, we don't have time, colleagues.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and Right Honorable Prime Minister, my issue is to do with the ongoing construction at Hoima City National Stadium. I have been receiving very many reports of a high level of attrition by the local people in this area. And you know, this is my constituency. And when I tried to share with the Honorable Ogwal about the problem, he said that the problem was that the Banyoro people are very lazy. Really? Really? So he put me off that way. But the rate of attrition is very, very high.
Point of order. Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, maybe because of one of my colleagues is saying that my colleague was insinuating one Ogwal, not Ogwang. So if he's insinuating Ogwal, then I really want to say, Cecilia Delete, with due respect. Can we confirm which Ogwang?
Yes. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ogwang, this one.
So, point of order, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, is my colleague in order to insinuate and to try to bring me in a picture that I have said that Banyoro are lazy? Because this is a tribal issue which raises my repute, and with due respect, I have been working with one of the strongest Munyoros I've ever worked with. He's here, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and she knows the caliber of a person who is standing before. I think, Right Honorable Speaker, is in order to begin to try to bring my name in a matter which he needs to address well as a member of Parliament of that. It is in order.
Thank you. I think it depends what time the statement was made and what you are drinking, the two of you. We were not there. I don't know why it should be here. But Right Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I have also got reports that people from that place have not been given an opportunity to work at that site. And you know, Right Honorable Speaker, Banyoro have never been lazy.
Yes.
I want to inform Ogwang to go down on ground, because otherwise we shall have many questions when it comes to the season. You just go and prevail over those contractors to give our people employment.
Thank you.
As simple as that.
Thank you.
We have a percentage by law.
Thank you.
Yes.
Honorable Kazin, Honorable Megadi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, currently our good government is giving land titles in my constituency, Buhaguzi, in Chikobe district, at a very, very low price. But there is a category of people in Abukenda parish that were settled by the government through the office of the Prime Minister. These categories of people are denied an opportunity to get these cheap land titles. May I request our able Prime Minister to give directives such that these people can also benefit from these land titles?
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I was in Chikube last week, and this issue was brought to my notice. I have interacted with the Minister for Lands. They are going to go on ground and investigate and come up with the way forward. I promise I will inform the member.
Thank you, Honorable Megade. Then Albert.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, in Buvuma, of course, it is an island district, but there is one specific town council, which is the Liawana Town Council. Month after month, we have piracy on the lake. I've raised this issue before. Both engines are picked by people speaking Swahili, and last month 40 engines were taken, and 22 people were hacked. 7 of them were admitted different health centers in critical condition. But for the last so many years, we have reported no response, and actually no officer, no senior officer, not even security has gone to this area, at least to comfort the people. So my question is, what arrangements does government have to protect members of the fishing community from the pirates? And I have to be clear, this is not FPU. So these are pirates. So what arrangement does government have to protect these people with their property and also the lives? Because there is no deployment in this area and it is near the Kenya-Uganda border. Thank you very much.
I can say the Minister for Defense is willing to help you, Right Honorable. Defense, they are the ones guarding. Yeah, Honorable Huda Orero.
Right Honorable Speaker and Right Honorable Prime Minister, we have taken a note and the deployment will be done as soon as possible.
Honorable Kwizera, Honorable Albert, then Honorable Kwizera. I'll just do one.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Government of Uganda, through Minister of Works, is doing a wonderful job of upgrading Morotolo-Tonyala Road. The only challenge or the question that I will ask is that some people, some of the PAPs are being paid, some have not been paid, and the project is almost getting completed. The affected people are now asking now, if the project is complete, the contractor will go. Who is going to pay them? And they want some assurance, especially from UNRWA or Ministry of Works and Transport. Thank you.
Honorable Minister. Then this what the Minister answered at the beginning. Maybe you can confirm. No.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'd already alluded to this, that every contractor and service provider who has been working with UNRWA have been working with the government of Uganda. And so whatever contract was signed with UNRWA will be honored by the government and by the ministry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For over 3 years, Right Honorable Speaker, we have people in Kasese, in Muhocha, who are living in a camp as a result of the disasters. We want to thank government because government procured land for these people. Right Honorable Minister, you've been giving directives. May I plead with you that you also give a directive for this land to be given to these people who have lived in a camp for the last 3 years. Thank you.
She's the Right Honorable Prime Minister, not Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and the honorable members, I want you to remember the 5 billion that I directed to be used for those disaster-prone areas, which we used to buy land in Kayunga, to buy land in Kasese, to construct health centers in Rwampanga, in Ntoroko, and many other places. So we bought that land, but it brought issues. The family members of that land petitioned us to the IGG. The IGG has just cleared that this land was not fraudulently acquired. I think like 2-3 months ago, I wrote a letter to the Ministry of Lands to help us demarcate, open up boundaries and demarcate. We are currently going to put there roads so that we can have access to the whole piece of land. Thereafter, we shall demarcate 2 acres per person. We are aware. I am one of those who directed that this land be bought. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I received a letter from Minister of Energy around March of this year, requesting me to mobilize my people that they had given C&G company to construct power lines in Palliser County. But up to date, that company has never appeared on the ground. Even the numbers which were given to us, when we try to call them, they are elusive. Could you really, Right Honorable Prime Minister, direct this company to come on the ground? My people need power in Palliser County. Thank you.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
That Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the Ministry of Energy will be contacted together with my brother so that we find out whether this contract exists.
Thank you. And I'll link the honorable colleague to the owner of the company, who might be our colleague around this house. So.
Yes, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It is a matter of policy that in each county, the government said we should have a vocational institute. And in the same vein that there should be a secondary school in each sub-county. As far as I'm concerned, in Chimbiri County, we don't have a technical institute. And in some sub-counties, like Nyarutembe, Chirondo, and Uchimbiri, we don't have any secondary school, contrary to government policy. May I say kindly and humbly request the Prime Minister to direct the Minister of Education to implement the government policy, because failure of government to implement such policies are rated against the Member of Parliament. I thank you.
Thank you.
That Honorable Speaker and honorable members, it is true, government has a policy that we have a secondary school per sub-county and a technical institute per constituency. There is a lot of work that has been done in that direction. We currently have a few sub-counties without a secondary school. And we continue to appropriate money to make sure that these sub-counties have a secondary school. This year alone, we are going to have 60 secondary schools constructed and a number of technical schools. So the ministry is directed to make sure that while looking at where to put this infrastructure development, Bukimbiri should be one of them.
Thank you. Honorable Itungo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mine is a kind reminder to the Right Honorable Prime Minister about Wizwera and Sika Road. Wizwera and Sika Road. Buwejo, which is in Sika is in Buwejo. Now, this road has been a matter here by my colleagues. Honorable Koichenga is there, Honorable Francis Mbicho is there. And in June, you had said all the processes were complete. It was the Minister of Finance. And now I'm happy the Minister of Finance is here. The Minister for Works is here. Madam Prime Minister, we thought this would be our gift to our people for this Christmas. So can you say something as we're going for Christmas? Thank you.
Honourable Minister for Works. With the Wera and Sika Road. It seems today Honorable Katumba didn't come with gifts.
Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members, Buzwera and Sika Road is already a road in the pipeline, but we are just finalizing with the Minister of Finance the financing modalities. But others, we have the contract already, and the Minister of Finance, they are still negotiating on the term sheet. And once that is done, we'll have the project launched. But otherwise, it's not even in NDP4, it's in NDP3, and we will implement it before NDP3 expires.
Tebandeke.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm aware of the 1 billion Uganda shillings allocated to district for road maintenance and sort of such activities. But during this flood season, a lot of roads have been affected. And the district has no capacity to acquire the AMCO culverts that can be installed in the drained swamp areas with waterlogging, huge capacity. May I get to know from the Minister Works, my brother, why don't you improvise these districts with AMCO culverts to effectively maintain these roads? Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Yes, Right Honourable Prime Minister and Right Honourable Speaker and members. The issue of the flooding is of course a challenge, not only in Bali and Kayunga. We had already made a budget for acquiring, and we know most of the the most needed spots. We have already come up with a budget. We have shared with the Prime Minister, and she's again, as she will tell you, possibly she's coordinating with the Minister of Finance to see whether we can get some emergency funds to respond to this rainy season situation, which is not the normal situation on road maintenance. So let's be hopeful that the Prime Minister will be able to get some money. Yes.
I want the honorable member to appreciate. Sometime back you came here and you were requesting government to help you connect Galilaya to Kawongo. That was done. Once in a while, appreciate. Tebandeke appreciate my son.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Bali, we do appreciate the elevation of Kanda Kawongo swamp by the government. But now there are a lot of other pending issues.
By which government? NRM government.
Honorable Speaker, I felt it necessary that when government has really acted on members' issues, they should once in a while appreciate. And one of them is that one. So, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, as you are aware, the policy is now that people leave the swamp areas. I want you to inform your people, those who are settling back to those swamp areas, not to go back. Because again, that place will flood, because we are told they are going back to those swamp areas. And yet we bought them land at a place called, is it in Chedicho? So we are going to settle them in Chedicho. Let's not go back. Thank you so much.
Lope.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be very brief. I want to thank the Prime Minister for dispensing lots of justice to the questions. A quick one on traffic lights, which was a question raised by the Honorable Organ. Much as Organ of Kumi municipality. Much as these traffic lights are hyped, where they are even in the capital city here, most of them are malfunctional, Mr. Speaker. And I would like the Prime Minister to appreciate that. That either they could be using old technology, because most of these road junctions or those junctions in Kampala, if it were not for traffic police officers, there would be accidents and lots of confusion and clashes by road users because of those traffic lights malfunctioning. This last question on road maintenance in disaster-prone districts that have or places that have natural calamities like floods or even landslides. The ministry should be, I think, regularly prevailing upon accounting officers not to have roadworks during downpours, heavy downpours, because this has always affected the structural integrity of roads all over. With those few comments, I rest my case.
No,
and I wish you...
On that last point, Honorable Nambishi.
Yes, please.
I think the ministry did, because I was in my area and I asked, why aren't you working? My chairman, LC5, Mr. Khadija Benon, told me the ministry had issued guidelines that they shouldn't start on roadworks during the rainy season. And
most obliged, but there were some very stubborn cows. I want to mention.
Thank you.
I want to mention adversely the one of Uruda, for instance. They stubbornly worked during heavy downpours.
Thank you.
And there is virtually nothing to show.
Now,
with this, I would like to wish honorable members the best of the Christmas and the next year, 2025. May God abundantly bless you all.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. I want to once again guide. Okay, right, Honorable Prime Minister. Oh, it's a statement? No, it's Prime Minister. That one would require me to amend the order paper.
No.
So if it's a verbal message,
it is.
The rest you will speak.
Right, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I want to first of all thank you and the Speaker for conducting business this year very well. A lot of government business has been achieved and done, especially the RAPEX, and I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to members, I want to appreciate you most sincerely, the chairpersons of committees and the whips, for the work well done. 2024 has been a successful year. I want to also inform members that I was again elected as the female leader of the year in Africa. And I believe all this is because of the teamwork. The cabinet ministers, I want to appreciate you, and more especially the head of state for the work well done. May God bless you all. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. You can see we have more reason for celebration after this. Honorable colleagues, once again, I want to inform committee chairpersons. I want to once again inform and guide the committee chairpersons, especially sectoral committees, that we have today received the budget framework paper. We have also received the National Development Plan 4. The National Development Plan 4 should inform the budget framework paper. So, you cannot start processing the budget framework paper as sectoral committees before we approve the National Development Plan 4. So, sectoral committees, please use this period to be sorting out your business which you had not yet completed, because we are going to be handling the budget. We want to concentrate and we scrutinize the budget deeply. So use this period which we are going in the 2 weeks when the budget committee will be handling the NDP 4. use it very well, scrutinize, and we'll finish. Then, national economy also, please, you can utilize that time when the budget committee is very busy to tap into members to process the loans we have brought quickly so that they can be completed. There is one loan which was expiring tomorrow, and it was brought today. And I'm sorry I had to insist. A loan cannot spend 2 years in the corridors of the executive and come spend 1 day on the floor of Parliament. It had to be processed the way it should be processed. So I want us to avoid these situations when the loans are ready. Honorable Minister, Honorable Prime Minister would really always facilitate the Honorable Minister for Finance, especially on documents, on issues that require statutory deadline, to get space quickly on the cabinet order paper. They get space on the cabinet order paper so that we don't stampede Parliament here. I know he finished long time ago most of this, but cabinet approval usually takes some time. So if we can coordinate very well on that, we will do a very excellent job. Otherwise, we promise to continue supporting you, to continue working together. This coming financial year, now we are going into the budget. Colleagues, read the documents they are giving. Please don't wait to ride on submissions of others on the floor. Go read. Go read. That's when you'll be asking the relevant questions. We don't complain, we don't, We want to thank you as the leadership of Parliament. The main speech thanking you will be at the venue outside, but on behalf of the Speaker and on behalf of the leadership of Parliament, we appreciate you for always supporting us to execute our mandate. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. House, I'm going to adjourn the House sign die, but the committees have to come back quickly, because when you look at 2 weeks from now, we might call you very, very early, first week of Jan, or immediately second week of Jan, to approve the National Development Plan, so that we can now go on the budget framework paper. House adjourned, sign die.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The influencer has an impact on your business, regardless of how you may look at it. It may not show there and then, but it comes through.
This is the thing I envy about you. You're so professional, and you've kept your social media so authentic, and it's growing and so authoritatively.
People do a lot of crazy things on TikTok because they want to be